All right, guys, really quickly before the video begins, I want to let you guys know that we are doing end-of-the-year fighter awards coming up in the next week or so. We're going to do the fighter of 2020, the best fighter that is mostly going to stick in the MMA realm. I think we should stick there. We are going to look at the best YouTube boxer of 2020. I think we're all going to know who that is, but we're going to do it. Then we're going to look to 2021. I'm going to tell you guys who I think the next champions are in the UFC and who's going to hold that belt at the end of 2021. Some other MMA promotions probably as well, and then we're going to have a preview for YouTube boxing. I mean, listen, Floyd and Logan are fighting at the start of 2021. If that's where we're starting, where the hell do we end? I just want to let you guys know that. Be looking for it in the next couple weeks. With that being said, let's get into the video. UFC 256 is right around the corner this weekend, and we got some fights to talk about. Listen, there are so many big names on this card that we're not going to be able to go through everything, but let me just give you the spark notes. Kevin Holland, Jacare Souza at 185. Massive fight. JDS versus Cyril Gane. Massive fight at heavyweight. Massive fight. Renato Moicano is on the card. The return of Cub Swanson is on the card. But we're going to talk about the co-main event and the main event. We'll start with the co-main event because it's such a big fight. I think people are calling it the people's main event. I don't want to disrespect Davis and Figueiredo like that or Brandon Moreno like that. But I will say this fight is very, very interesting. I am really excited for it. We have Tony El Cucuy Ferguson, Charles Du Bronx Oliveira. So we have Tony Ferguson off the loss to Justin Gaethje in the interim title fight before Gaethje went on to lose to Habib. We've all seen what happened there. And then we have Charles Oliveira on his own 6-fight win streak. Listen, this is a big fight for multiple reasons. One, we're going to see if Charles Oliveira, Du Bronx, we're going to see if he's finally over that hump, right? He would make it to the big time. He'd make it to those big time fights, those top 15, top 10, top 5 qualifier fights, and unfortunately would come up short. We just saw him submit Kevin Lee. That is a huge win for him, and it's established him as, again, a top 10 guy at 155. So we're going to see if possibly this could be that final fight where he can jump over that hump and say, listen, I'm one of the best 155ers in the world, put myself into title contention, put myself in the conversation of the title, whoever the champion will be. Right now it's Habib. We don't know how long it's going to be. Habib has come out again and said he's retired. Dana still says he's not buying it. We'll see. But nevertheless, should Charles Oliveira beat Tony Ferguson, we're talking, like I said, we're talking a massive win for his career, biggest in his career. And because he has wins over good guys, but this is Tony Ferguson we're talking about. El Cucuy, a guy that's hovered around that title scene for years now. People have said that Tony has gotten the shaft, and I agree. For many a year, for not being able to be in these title fights. It was a 12, 13 fight win streak for Tony at one point. It was something crazy. And he was just getting to that interim title and not being able to solidify or unite, and that Habib fight never happened after being booked like 4 or 5 times. So for Charles Oliveira, he gets this win. Like I said, you're right in the conversation for title contender, right up there with Conor, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje. I don't know what they're doing with Michael Chandler, but he'd be right there. Michael Chandler and Charles Oliveira is a fun fight too. On the other side of that, you're talking about Tony Ferguson, who, listen, 26-5, a great record, but Tony's in his late 30s, coming off a bad loss to Justin Gaethje. Justin pretty much dominated that entire fight outside of one uppercut at the end of the second round where Tony caught him. I don't want to say that Tony has to beat Charles Oliveira to ever sniff that title again, but it seems like that, doesn't it? It seems like if he loses this fight to Charles Oliveira, and you look down the list at 155, it kind of goes older to younger as we move down, because you have some killers. You have Diego Ferreira down there. You have Al Iaquinta down below him. These are guys that he'd have to fight and go against again. And then you have the younger guys, the young studs that are making their way through the division. Guys like Islam Makhachev, guys like Drew Dober, guys like Gregor Gillespie. Now, I know he lost the Kevin Lee fight with the head kick, but before that, unbeaten. Islam's still unbeaten. Young guys that are hungry and moving through that division, and it's why I said this division's one of the best in the world. In any in any promotion, any weight class, 155, again, Michael Chandler being around there too, is the best division in the world. And again, you can argue that, but Tony Ferguson, should he lose this fight, I don't know if he gets another a shot at that title. Not saying he can't, because sure, he could beat some of those guys, and a fight's a fight. But we did see Tony look a little less polished in that last fight. Yeah, it was Justin, and it was supposed to be Habib, and Tony didn't really get to train for Justin versus Habib. He was training for a high-level grappler versus Justin, who just puts out crazy output on the feet. and he was technical, and he hit Tony with shots that I don't know if he was even ready for. So maybe I'm being a little bit more cautious with giving Tony a lot of X marks versus check marks, right? I'm over here kind of grading him on a scale that wasn't really fair to him. He took a short notice fight. Tony's done that before, but Justin Gaethje's a different animal. So we're going to see if Tony still has it, if Tony still has top-level striking, jiu-jitsu, grappling, the stuff that Tony does. Like, this is a pressure fight for Tony, and not to say that Tony Ferguson gives one shit about that, because he doesn't. Tony Ferguson's going to go out there and fight like he normally does, and pressure is something he's accustomed to. Every fight he's in with that win streak has been a pressure fight. He's been around that title, snooping around the top 5, top 10 for the longest time. The guy knows what he's doing. He's a top-level guy in the world, but he's got to prove it one more time versus Charles Oliveira. If I'm looking at this fight in both of their skills, Tony has more output on the feet usually, more variety in the way he can finish you. Not to say that Charles Oliveira can't finish you with the KO, TKO. He can, but he is obviously a submission. He submits a lot of guys. The decision's always there, but like I said, Tony lands more per minute, outputs more per minute. He also absorbs more per minute. So that could be definitely somewhere where Charles Oliveira could establish a little bit on the feet and then maybe work Tony's guard. But again, Tony very slick off his back. The razor-like elbows. The guy just fights in a different style, a different way. And you do have that added element of Charles Oliveira in the biggest fight of his career. Does he rise to the occasion? Does he falter under the lights once again? I don't think he rises to meet this occasion. Not this time. I think Tony Ferguson comes into this fight, shuts guys like me up, people telling him that this is a fight that you have to win or you may never see that title. I think he shuts us all up. I think he goes in there and with a full camp shows people, like I said, like me, that he can still strike moving forward. That he can still put that El Cucuy fear on you in rounds 2 and 3 when he already tired you out in round 1 and he's still in your face. And you're punching him, but he's not going anywhere and he's still in your face. And now he's hitting you with razor blades. And now he's throwing those crazy uppercuts. And he might Imanari roll. Who knows what Tony will do? I think we get that, Tony. And I think he wins this. I think he wins by TKO. I really do. I think at a time when people have, and again, I include myself in this, people have kind of looked at Tony Ferguson and his performance against Justin Gaethje and chalked it up to old age and him not still having it. I think he still does. I really do. I think he still has it. The way the guy trains, the focus he now has after losing that fight. Again, sometimes you just need that reset button. I think he comes in and shows Charles Oliveira and the rest of us that he is still El Cucuy. Tony Ferguson by 3rd round TKO. Let's go El Cucuy. Let's go Tony. I think he wins.